us up in the way, asking us up with the karakia, and then we'll get going. Tēnei te mauri e tau ina he mana atua, he mana tipua. Tēnei te mauri e tau ina he mana atua, he mana tipua. Kia tau te mauri ki tēnā o tātou puritia kia mau. Palmy e huie!
Kia
ora! Woohoo! Alright, thank you, Tiana. Right, hello everybody, welcome. My name is Hannah, I'll be your MC for today. Harry told me that I need to warm you up by telling you a joke. So I'm just going to tell you my favourite one, and it is this. Why are pirates pirates? Because they are. Alright, you can take that one home and keep it, that's absolutely right. I just want to thank you for being here today to support the launch of the Palmy Rangitikei Green Party campaigns. It's a really important year and it's a really exciting year. Before we get too excited, let's talk about a little bit of housekeeping. We have emergency exits here and here, and we're going to be assembling in the car park in the event of an emergency. Whanipakua up that hallway there to your right before you hit the ramp. So, lovely, great. Today we're going to have a few speakers. Then we're going to have a 15-minute break. There's loads of snacks, so you are expected to contribute to the eating of those snacks. We also have an auction, and we will be talking about ways that you can get involved with the Green Party and see our way to success for all of us for this year. Hold on. I only just got emailed this, so it's on my phone. My apologies. This year's election is an especially important one. I challenge you to, just for a moment, imagine exactly the kind of world that you would like to see or the world that you'd like to live in. If you can think that Papatūānuku is thriving, that the manu are singing and hopefully not infected by too much of a bird virus, where we are always taking actions to mitigate the harm from climate change, and we are reducing pollution. A world where we put a stop to extractive systems, and we're looking forward to ways of powering our earth that don't hurt or harm our taiao. Woohoo! Yeah, that's right. In this future, we want to value the dignity and the worth of all citizens and of all our little creatures. Our whānau have everything that they need to flourish, where every person in Aotearoa has something to eat, somewhere to live, someone to love, and something to do. And because of all of that, they will have something to hope for. So what do we need to do that? All right. We need to ditch the pricks in 26. We need a government that works for all of us. We need to move away from the coalition of chaos. Since 2023, we've experienced this national-led coalition government bypass traditional select committee scrutiny to pass a record number of bills under urgency. If we want to protect our democracy and ensure that our political systems work to serve everyone, then now is our time to lock in. And I put that challenge to every person in this room and every person that you know. Hold on, there's a whole bunch of part of this speech that's been deleted. All right, we can stop all of this from happening here in Aotearoa, and it doesn't require much more than making sure that everyone is enrolled to vote and gets out to the polls to vote these guys out in November. Because when the left votes, the left wins. Woohoo! Woohoo! Today, we're going to hear from the people who have been working tirelessly to ensure that we can feel good about the future and the world that we're going to be leaving to our mokopuna. And you are going to be able to leave this room today knowing something that you can do to ensure that that can happen. We've got tables just out there. You can enrol to vote. You can find out how to get your families and friends enrolled, but that's not as far as it goes. We can also find out how to volunteer for the Greens, and if you've got a fence, we'd love to chuck a billboard up on that as well. We also have an auction at at the end, so when we have a break for snacks, when we have our snack break, I'd like you to go and have a wee look at all the different auction lots that we have. There are 15 different auction lots up there that we'd invite you to auction on in the second half of our program today. If you'd like a snazzy t-shirt, you can buy these today. We also have buttons and stickers for you to stick up, and put on display to show your full intention of voting Party Green this year. We've got some beautiful paintings from Rangitikei candidate Bernard Long. They'll be part of our part of the auction today. And if you need a little bit of yard work done, there'll be one of those on auction as well. I think I'd like to introduce our first speaker. I'm going to ask Tiano up to come and speak to us. He's a current member of Parliament and he's third on the Green Party list. Come on up. It's the other way around.
Oh my goodness.
Tricks! Tricks on you guys. It's actually Bernard who's coming up.
The other thing.
Kia ora, Hannah, and kia ora, whānau. Just before I kick off on my thoughts on the upcoming election, I'd just like to acknowledge that my colleague, or fellow candidate, Carl Severinson is in the room. Carl?
Yep.
Woo! From Labour, so lovely, welcome, good to see you here. The Green Party has a vision where everyone in Aotearoa has enough to live a good life.
Yeah.
Where everyone in Aotearoa, including the super rich and the mega corporates, pay their fair share.
Yeah.
Where we sustain the environment to sustain us and future generations. And where we invest in the economy for all of us. It's that simple. But we face challenges. The Luxon government have cut public services, have effectively cut benefits and the minimum wage, and have granted generous tax relief to the super wealthy and major corporates. This doesn't work. It didn't work in the 1930s during the global depression. It didn't work in the 1990s under Ruth Richardson. It didn't work in 2007 and 8 in the GFC and in the UK and Greece and other countries. And it doesn't work today in Aotearoa or any other country.
Yeah.
Previous governments have prioritised the wealthy and big business, with the promise, implicit or otherwise, that the wealth will trickle down. It doesn't. It didn't, it doesn't, and it won't. What it results in is less money for essential public services. Our people are stressed and exhausted. I know this to be true because I'm talking to them virtually every day, in their hundreds, and that's what I hear. Cost of living's gone through the roof. Kai and power is unaffordable. Our dependence on imported fossil fuels is costing us at the pump and environmentally. 20% of our tamariki are in need, and 15%, 1 in every 7 of our tamariki out there live in poverty. In excess of 5% of our population is unemployed, but if you're youth, 15 to 24, it's more like 15%. This is not financial success or any sort of success. And meanwhile, the Luxon government criminalises homelessness, pushes down on Māori, suppresses te reo, is attacking te tiriti, is denying working women pay equality that they've worked and they deserve, and for good measure has decided to threaten our transgender community, amongst others.
You haven't mentioned disabled people.
And all the while, we're existing in 1 in 100 year weather events every few weeks or so, while the Luxon government has rolled back 30 years of environmental and climate protection.
Yeah.
They're putting us at danger and they're damaging our international reputation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a cost of living crisis. We're in a greed crisis exacerbated by continuing culture wars designed to distract us. The poor, the working folk, the elderly are struggling, while big power companies, banks, fossil fuel companies, tobacco companies get generous tax relief and make record profits. But there is good news. There is ample money in New Zealand to deal with all these problems and more. We're not short of money, there's tons of it. 150 families own more than 1/2 of all New Zealanders. We have an aristocracy, who would have thought? And we've got 26 billionaires that own about $5 billion apiece on average. And to get a grip on what a billion is, because it trips off the tongue so easily nowadays. 1.5 billion for ferries, $1 billion for this road, and that hospital or whatever, it doesn't sound much. But to get a grip on what it actually is, I thought I would study it. And I thought that $1 billion was 100 million. It's not. It's 1,000 million. It's an uncountable, unimaginable amount of money. And to try and put that into some perspective, I worked out at 3%, if you had $1 billion and you invested that at a mere 3%, you would earn $82,000 every day. Or if it was at 5%, which is probably closer to the mark, that's $137,000 every day. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a wealth gap. We have a cancer on our society. And if we don't do something about it, it will destroy our democracy and our society. And arguably, it already is.
You've not once mentioned what's been going on for disabled people.
Furthermore, if we don't do something about this, it's going to end in one of two ways. And neither of them, or both of them, are appalling. But there is good news. The Green Party have a plan. Well, we have several plans actually, but overall we have a plan. And at the core of our plan is tax reform. Bold, researched, peer-reviewed by Infometrics. We have a tax plan that will work. And central to the tax plan is to ensure that the mega rich and the major corporates pay their fair share back to the society that they have derived their profits and their income from. Key part of that is a wealth tax on wealth in excess of $10 million, excluding the family home. We'll institute an inheritance or gift tax that we call a capital acquisition tax, which will apply to transfers in excess of $1 million, excluding the family home and, most importantly, the farm. And we will raise the tax on mega corporates from the current 28% to 33% on those companies that have a turnover in excess of $30 million, big ones. Everyone else will remain on the 28%. And we will apply a 45% tax on incomes in excess of $160,000. Now that's the major parts of the planks of the tax reform. On the other side, we will make every $10,000 of income for everybody, for all of us, tax-free. So that will start the process of rebalancing this nightmare that we're facing. All of that will raise $5.3 billion in the first year, rising to $6 billion per annum over a 4-year period. And we will use this money to eliminate poverty. Poverty has been created by political decisions and can be eliminated through a political decision or decisions. We will use this money, amongst other things, to eliminate poverty, but also to apply to strengthen our public services, health, education, transport, electrification, just hold that thought, and next Monday there's something that, anyway, I won't say any more than that because I'm not allowed to. Anyway, we'll do all of those to strengthen our public services. Ladies and gentlemen, the Green Party is the only party with the courage to face this.
But what you haven't faced is disabled people. We're
But
20% of
furthermore, if you believe that this needs to be faced, then I put it to you, ladies and gentlemen, party vote Green this election. There's three more things we can do in finishing. One, talk to your family and friends. Don't talk to them about the detail. They don't want to know that. Just pick up on the top lines. That's all they want to know. But if they want to know more, ask them to talk to myself or Tiano. Probably Tiano after September when House rises. And the second thing to do is please like, comment and share on our social media. That will boost our presence. Party vote Green.
Alright, Tiano, can I invite you up and would you, are you able to answer our audience members' question as well about the policies specifically relating to disability, like the core tenets of the meeting disabled people's needs and what the Green Party have in mind for that? Is that okay? Cool.
Kia ora, tēnā tātou katoa ki rungi nā āhuatanga o te wā. E mihi ana ki ngā maunga whakahi, ko tararua ki pai, ko Ruahine ki muri. Te awa e re ana ko te manawa tū, te mana whenua rangitāne, ngā tini whetū ki te rangi ko rangitāne, anō tērā ki te whenua. Let me begin by acknowledging our mountains, the Ruahine Ranges and the Tararua. Let me also begin by acknowledging our river, the Manawatu. Let me also begin by acknowledging the mana whenua, rangitāne as well. And they're saying, ngā tini whetū ki te rangi ko rangitāne, anō tērā ki te whenua. Let me also begin by acknowledging you, our organisers, our members that have pulled together today. In particular, Hannah, who can wing it but also sing it. I understand as well, we'll sing it later. To our campaign team as well, who have been incredibly busy. I'm in the group chat, I open it up sometimes and there's like 100 messages in there. So shout out to all of you, and I know John is weaving you all together very, very successfully. We have our branch co-conveners and our branch office holders here as well. I acknowledge all of you. And also the elected officials that are here. Officials that we'll call ourselves? Elected representatives that are here in the room with us today. I see Katie, I see Brent, Carl's trying to be one as well. Sam, I see you there, Sam as well. And anyone else here, as I acknowledge all of you, everybody that pays, who does these types of jobs, and the commitment that you have with community. Palmerston North is the place that we chose to raise our children. This is a beautiful community, and to be honest, when I showed up here, we were only going to be here for 3 months. Like all good spouses, I followed my wife here. She said we were going to be here for 3 months, and 3 kids, 20 years and more later, we're still here. And for me, that points to something that is very unique and special about Palmerston North. It's a community that pulls you in. It's a community that draws you in. It's a community that tries to make those connections across communities for everybody, for everyone. There's a space here for all of us, whether that's our rainbow community, our Māori community, our disabled community, our migrant community, our refugee community. And here within Palmerston North, you can see the best of it. But right now we have a government which is trampling on all of that, a government which is obsessed with keeping their rich mates happy, whether it's tax cuts for mega landlords or tax cuts for mining companies or tax cuts for tobacco companies. That is the state of this government. And I have sat in that house through weeks and hours and days and nights of urgency as they have ram-raided legislation through the house which are making lives harder for everybody, and particularly our vulnerable people, our trans community, our disabled community, let alone the trampling on Te Tiriti o Waitangi, Te Reo Māori, and also our migrant communities as well. That's why it's incredibly important for us to be organised in this election. That's why it's incredibly important for us to be supporting those political parties, and the Greens are at the heart of that in terms of getting rid of this government.
Yeah.
This needs to be a one-term government, but it needs to have the Green Party at the heart of the next government. A party which will prioritise making sure that we can drink, swim and fish in our waterways, making sure that our rivers are no longer polluted, making sure that our oceans are no longer overfished, making sure that we prioritise our rivers for everyone, because that's what they should be.
Yep.
They should be for everyone, not just the commercial interests. As your elected MP on the Green Party list, I have the privilege of holding a number of portfolios, and this is my second term within Parliament. And in this Parliament, I talk on behalf of the Green Party for a number of issues. And at the moment, that's space, spies, peace, oceans, Pacific peoples, and workplace relations. And if you have witnessed what's been happening in the workplace relations space, and you are a union member, you have my deepest aroha, you have my deepest respect, and you have my deepest solidarity. Because there has been such a slew of legislation that has gone through the House, whether that's the repealing of the fair pay agreements, the bringing back of 90-day trials, getting rid of partial strikes. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were on the steps of Parliament as the Pike River families came to Parliament and said directly that they did not want this Parliament to pass the health and safety reforms because it would make things worse. The potential for workers to go to work and be exposed to harm, or in the worst case scenarios, face death, is a message that did not get heard by the government parties. And this is just another example of the government that does not listen, a government which has used the select committee process just to push through their agenda, which is being powered by big money from corporations and their rich, greedy mates. So we do have a lot of work to do when we tip them out, and I believe that that will happen. But we also need to be able to make sure that we have things to hope for. Earlier this week, Marama Davidson, on behalf of the Greens at the Air 2 Union Conference, launched our automatic union membership bill. What we are doing here is signalling to the workers that actually what we need to be doing is the exact opposite of what this government is doing, which is about making sure that we put workers at the centre of the next government as well. Because what we are seeing is the erosion of workers' rights within the workplace, and by having default union membership, what that will do is it will grow workers' power, and that needs to happen. We need to be doing the exact opposite from what this government is doing, and the Green Party will continue to do that.
Does that mean unions will go into bat more for accessible accommodations and reasonable accommodations?
My expectation is that the unions will do that, and I've had a number of conversations, and there are actually union people in the room who can actually answer that more specifically from a union perspective. We also have, I think, the union's Manawatu people here as well, right at the back over there as well. Right over there, so we can talk later afterwards about accessibility, etc., etc. But if we're going to be a community and a group of communities that cares for each other, then we have to make sure that we take care of everyone. That this needs to be a country and a government which values all of us. And that's all of our communities. That's our rainbow communities, that's our Pasifika communities, our migrant communities, and yes, of course, our disabled communities as well. Over the election period, you will hear a number of election announcements as well, and Bernard did allude to one that's coming up next week, so please make sure that you get onto our website, onto our social media to hear that stuff as it comes out. But at the heart of it in terms of being able to do all the things that we need to do, we need to make sure that we fix the tax system. Because at the moment it's geared towards the incredibly filthy rich, and that needs to change. The rich need to pay their fair share. They need to pay their fair share so that we can actually have all the ability to fund public services appropriately. And it's true, 150 of the richest people and their families have more wealth than 50% of the country. 150 people as well, which is why our tax package is about focusing on the incredibly rich, those that have $10 million or more as an individual, and I don't know if that's anybody in this particular room as well, but making sure that we also target the banks as well, because a lot of that profit is going overseas. Not to mention also the tech companies as well. You have your Facebooks, etc., etc., etc. All of their profits are going overseas as well. There is enough money in this country to take care of everyone. There is enough money in this country to make sure that we can have the public services, the health services, the educational services, the services to support our disability community. It is all there. We just need to have the courage to make sure that we tax the rich. And because we're the Green Party as well, it says what it says on the tin. The environment is foundational to who we are. It's a part of our identity. Making sure that you have a healthy environment is a part of who we are. So making sure that we have clean drinking water. So one of the policies that we announced last week was to make sure that we can have a standard set so that is able to happen. Because what we are hearing is stories, and particularly from our rural communities, where the water that they are drinking, it's just not safe. It isn't safe. So that needs to be fixed. We also need to make sure that people can get onto the ocean as well and get a feed for their whānau. That is something that is a reasonable expectation for all of us that live here in Aotearoa, that actually can go out into the morning, get a feed for your whānau. And that it shouldn't be that the commercial fishing companies can pillage everything and then take all those profits overseas as well. So everybody, I'd just like to thank you all very much for being here. Once again, to acknowledge all of our organisers in the room. These things don't come together by ourselves, by magic. It's actually hard work that does that. And if I could encourage you to get on board with our campaign team, if you like what you're hearing, if you're passionate about the environment, if you're passionate about community, if you're passionate about not just tipping up this government, but putting a Green Party at the heart of the next one, please join us. With your support and our support, we can do this. And I just want to end with one whakataiki which goes, "Nau te raro, nāku te raro, ka ora te iwi." With your contribution and my contribution, the people will be well. We can do this for all of us. Thank you.
Fantastic. Those two were the ones that were going to blabber on, and they've done really well to keep it to time. I'm very proud of both of you. Thank you for that. We do have a couple more speakers who are going to come up, and then we'll have a bit of a break where I invite you to have a wee look around the tables. We've got things for sale. We've got t-shirts you can buy, and we'll take your donations as well. That's fine. There's merch. What have we got? Flowers. Raffle ticket, that was the one that I forgot to tell you. We do have a raffle going today, $2 per ticket or 3 for 5, but I already got 9 tickets, so that's probably enough for me. Alright, I'd really like to invite Katie Zabellin, who is a City Councillor here. Oh wait, were you supposed to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Okay, great. Katie, come on up. Woo-hoo!
I feel quite vertically challenged. Hello, I'm Katie Zabellin. I'm one of the Palmerston North City Councillors and lover of trees, big fan of planet Earth. And I was asked to come and sort of bring the hype, and I thought I can do that. I'm a great hype girl. But then I found out that Paul Henry is standing for the Our Party. It brought my vibe really down. I don't know about you, but it's just the latest in a line of wealthy and sorted and insufferably arrogant people to crawl out of the woodwork and put their hand up to leave with this really sincere belief that they have the answers to fix everything because they know everything. And there's only one right way, and it's theirs. And this attitude is not only problematic in this election, but it's popping up all over the world. It's these people who have nothing to learn doing the same old tricks that helped them to get to where they were and served them well, and want that to keep going despite the overwhelming evidence that that is a crazy approach and it only serves a few, and it's at a huge cost to our life support systems that we all rely on. So I'm really pleased and proud to be a Green Party member because the Greens are evidence-based. And we know that there is always more to learn if you just shut up and listen. And you just don't see a lot of that happening from some of the other contenders in this election. Evidence is our strength, and we keep bringing it up. And we keep shouting it from the rooftops, and we keep looking our problems in the face for what they are instead of reframing them in these terms of unlocking economic growth, and that's the magic bullet that's going to just provide wealth and bountiful wonderfulness for all of us. And it's proven that that isn't how it works. And it's also proven that evidence doesn't actually change people's minds if they don't want their minds to be changed, but that doesn't mean that we should stop gathering that evidence and using it to inform ourselves and where we position ourselves as a political movement. Because no matter how many wealthy and sordid people present themselves as God's gifts to politics, we need to hold our space in Parliament. We've done such a good job of growing the number of Green seats, and we really need to hold that and grow it if we can.
Yes.
Our guys are working absolutely non-stop to keep shouting from the rooftops what the evidence is saying, and every time that our seas are threatened, our conservation land is threatened, boo to that. Our rights are threatened, our trans, disabled, Māori communities are disrespected and harmed, our democracy is threatened. If you watch Parliament TV on those urgency sittings late at night, you can see all those empty seats, but not our guys. Our guys are there, they're there in numbers till midnight, pulling the hard yards all the time. They're putting in the mahi for us, so can we just give a big round of applause? And the problem is that there are so many things to shout about, and there's so many things to stress us all out and to make us angry, and there's too many things for us to respond to and to be across all of them all of the time. And we haven't got that many MPs compared to some of the other parties. So the amount that we're able to be churning out policy, churning out evidence, and being across all of those issues with a small number of MPs is just frankly astounding. And I'm so proud of all the people that we've managed to put in Parliament and the track record they've got for just being generally awesome. Yeah. I think though, just as people, you know, with like hearts and minds, it's easy to get tired. We're just getting fatigued from so many things coming up that are distressing to us. We need to absolutely just put that aside for now and get revved up, which is why I'm the hype girl. We need to get revved up to get behind our candidates and give them the most love and support, because they're working really, really hard, but they need to keep working hard, and they're there to serve us. Not the economy and not vested interests, but the people and the planet and all of the species who share this planet with us, because they count. And I just want to finish, I don't know if this is a hyper or a downer, we'll find out, but we are living in a miraculous rock in the vastness of space, and it is the only known habitat for life in the entire known universe. And now is the time of all times for us to pull together to protect it from long-term damage for short-term gains, because that's what is on the table at the moment if this government gets in for another 3 years. So for all of us, let's please make sure that we hold our space and we keep shouting from the rooftops, and we support our people that are on the front line, because that's the battleground where policy is being unwritten overnight. The gains that we've worked for years and years and years to build are being unravelled right in front of our eyes, and we feel powerless to stop it, but we don't have to be. We just need to put in some serious mahi in the next couple of months, because if we don't do it, who will do it? And if we don't do it now, when will we do it? We haven't got the millions of dollars that other parties have got, but we have serious fire in our bellies. We've got really strong motivations, and we've got people power. So if you can please give us some money power with our lovely auction, we would really love that. But it's your time, liking things on Facebook, helping the message to spread, that also counts. It's so helpful to us, but it's us and it's now for all of us. Thank you so much.
hype lady that was incredible. Only a sociopath would think that a pocket full of money is worth cutting down every single tree. That is the most berserk thing that any person could possibly think. I don't know if you believe this. I truly, with my whole heart, believe that billionaireism is a mental disease and should be classified as such. It is completely bonkers. I could use other words, but I won't. Right. The very final speaker that I'd like to introduce today is Bella McMillan from Massey University. So she's the president of the Greens on campus. I think it's really exciting. You talked about being fatigued and working tirelessly and working really, really hard towards a goal and having to constantly fight for things like, I don't know, a livable planet. Yes. Our inclusion of young people and supporting the young people who are doing everything they can to follow in behind us. I think Whitney Houston was right. I'm not going to sing it, but it is in my heart. I do believe that the children are our future, and I'm really proud to have you here today. So, Bella, if you'd like to come up and talk to the crowd.
Sorry. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bella. I'm a second year at Massey studying city planning. Firstly, I apologize for my abysmal speech edict, and I'm going to be reading it off my phone. I only found out I was speaking yesterday, and you guys are just so beautiful, it's making me nervous. I grew up in Wellington, the capital, and I've been surrounded by politics my whole life. The first election where I could vote was in 2023. And I was so excited that I made my own I voted stickers because they stopped giving them out that year and I really wanted one. It was an upsetting first election for me, and that's why we have to make up for it in this election. It was maybe the first time I properly understood that I was living in a little Wellington bubble. Not everyone in the country thinks like I do. It was also a shock to move from Wellington to Palmy to my degree and learn that young people in other parts of the country don't really care about politics or care about it in a very different way than I do. Too many times I've heard the words, "Oh, politics doesn't affect me," or "I just vote what my parents tell me to." I was already planning on joining the Massey Greens Club, but seeing how many of my peers weren't very interested in civics cemented the fact that I had to do my part. Being a part of the Massey Greens Club has been amazing. We've had lots of meaningful conversations and gotten many students enrolled. It's been great connecting locally with all of you beautiful people who are making a difference. The Greens in this election is very important to me, as the current government is making it harder for people my age to vote with the 2-week cut-off date before election day. Thousands of first-time voters and students who have moved cities will not vote this year simply because they were not enrolled in time. I'm in a new course at uni called Political Power, and on the first day we were asked, what's one thing in New Zealand politics that keeps you up at night? This was a hard question for me because it feels like I wake up every day and get more terrible news from our current government. It's so easy to feel helpless and disillusioned, but we need to come together and get organised and vote and tell our people to vote and get involved locally. Only then do we have a hope of making this a one-term government.
Yeah.
I'm a Greens member because the Greens are doing real good and looking after everyone in terms of shelter, education and food. They treat everybody well regardless of how lucky they've been. They're a party not only for the people, but the animals, the water and the whenua. They look to the future and not just the now. Together we can make Aotearoa better for everyone. Vote Green and make your voice heard.
Alright, it's almost snack time, but I do want us to practice our chant. Do you know what the chant is? You have to have a guess.
Vote green?
No, oh my goodness.
Oh, for all of us.
For all of us. That's our chant. That's our slogan this year. So if I was to say to you something to eat,
For all of us.